All right, guys, what is good? Welcome to Flav Oriana's MMA show. I'm your host, Flav Oriana, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so past couple of days, Dana White has been coming off with some fire, breaking some great news for us fight fans, all right? Announced a fight, that's going to be happening in August. Announced a fight that's going to be happening in September. Sucks that it's a couple of months away, but, we got something to look forward to. So what ended up happening, I believe it was yesterday on, Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Wednesday, April 14th. UFC President Dana White had announced that we are having the return of the legendary Polish power. Yes, Jan Blachowicz is going to make his second title defense, all right, against the deserving number one contender, Glover Teixeira. All right, Glover Teixeira, last time he had fought, he ended up fighting Thiago Santos back in I believe October, if I'm not mistaken, and he ended up making Santos tap out, and after that it was clear cutting through that he was the most deserving light heavyweight to get a crack at the belt, and things had to be put on pause at UFC 259. Jan Blachowicz had to make his defense against Israel Adesayna, who was moving up into weight, right? From what it seemed like, the company was trying to push Adesanya into a huge mega fight, but that wasn't the case because Jan Blachowicz ended up taking care of business, all right? And they're utilizing his wrestling, and he wasn't gonna go forward like all the other people that has fought Israel Adesanya. What he ended up doing was playing the same style technician that Adesanya was doing. Throw a punch, bring it back, defend. Throw a punch, bring it back, defend. And once he was able to utilize his defense and change levels, after that it was game over because Adesanya couldn't have got up, and it just proved that Jan Blachowicz was the better fighter that night. And I'm glad that he ended up winning, retaining his belt, because of the fact that it really would have sucked, Blachowicz working so hard, right? Last loss he had was against Thiago Santos, and to work that hard just to get the belt, all right, and then to lose it, not even defending your belt, not even once, that would have really sucked. But it ended up panning out well. Now Glover Teixeira is going to be set to fight Jan Blachowicz, all right, in September. I believe that would be UFC 266, if I'm not mistaken. That would be hella great, all right. I think a lot of fans are surely are getting to know who is Jan Blachowicz, all right. I think the fact that he ended up fighting Israel Adesanya ended up boosting him a tremendous amount of fans, right? Yes, him winning the belt got him a lot of popularity, all right, because that is the first time somebody had held the light heavyweight belt outside of Daniel Cormier or John Jones in the last 10 years. So for Jan Blachowicz winning the belt, now defending it once, all right, against one of the more well-popular, UFC fighters on the roster, now he has a lot of traction going into his next fight. He's fighting Glover Teixeira, who is no slouch. Yes, he's over 40, and he is closer to the ending of his career as opposed to the beginning. But there's a lot to worry about with Glover. If the fight does get onto the floor, right? Does Glover try to go immediately for a submission? I mean, he does know how to, work from his back, can be in full guard, all right? He can still, do damage from the bottom. So will Jan Blachowicz try to utilize wrestling, or will he try to stand toe-to-toe with Glover? And, since Jan Blachowicz has the advantage on the striking department as opposed to Glover, is that going to be the way that he goes about it? It's a very interesting fight. I know a lot of people are going to be picking Jan. As of right now, I would be picking Jan, but you guys can't count against Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira, even at the age over 40, he is still pretty dangerous, and there's reasons why he hasn't lost. I believe his last fight that he lost was against Corey Anderson, and since then, Glover Teixeira has been racking up, victories over Anthony Smith, racking victories over Thiago Santos. I think he ended up beating Misha Serkinov in that time period that he's been winning fights. So Glover Teixeira hasn't lost, since Corey Anderson, and that had to be more than a couple. I think it was like 2018. That was the last time Glover Teixeira has not lost. So it's been about 3 years. So it's a very good fight. that we have in our hands. Looking forward to that. Next announcement. Dana White ended up coming out with this announcement today. Made the announcement just shortly after 5:00, and finally, the women's bantamweight division is gonna have some traction, some movement, because the belt hasn't been defended in over a year and a half. By the time the belt gets defended, it would be well over a year and a half. And yes, Amanda Nunes is finally going back down from featherweight to bantamweight. Yeah, she's dropping down to 135 to defend her 135 title against the Venezuelan vixen Juliana Pena. Yes, Juliana Pena is finally gonna get the title shot that she deserves. All right, I give her credit for calling Amanda out. Not many people want to call out the lioness. All right, but you got to give somebody credit. When nobody's willing to call out the champ, and you have that one person that has been trying to get the champ's attention, they've been trying to schedule fights, it hasn't worked. The UFC has always told Juliana, you need one more win, and Amanda could jump to featherweight, hold the division on stack. So this is a very enticing fight, because if you want the what's it called, the women's UFC bantamweight to keep on moving forward, that division, you're gonna want to root for Juliana Pena, right? So you can have your Aspen lads, get a crack at the title. You can have your Germaine de Randamies, try to get a title shot. Holly Holm, this lady has gotten about like 7 title shots. I think it's enough. Plus, you're also gonna have Cupcake herself, Miesha Tate. She's coming back in July. Is she going to play a mix? All right. So, the women's bantamweight division, if you want, a lot of traffic, if you want, activity, you're going to want to root for Juliana Pena. But if you still want to see the show that Amanda is, all right, seeing the champ, dropping down to weight, moving up to weight. If you want to see that, then by all means, Amanda it is. But I think this should be interesting, because the last time Amanda has lost was to a wrestler, which was Kat Zingano, right? Kat Zingano doesn't fight for the UFC anymore. She fights for Bellator. But she got dominated on the ground. This time, I don't know how it's going to go, all right? Juliana Pena had said that, hey, you won't fight me. You always fighting strikers, which is true, all right? Look who she fought last time. Megan Anderson. She fought Germaine de Randamie, who is a striker, all right? Germaine de Randamie ended up getting her first submission, but over Juliana Pena in her last fight. Juliana Pena had to redeem herself in getting a win over Sarah McMahon, an Olympic wrestler. But Amanda Nunes does fight strikers often, so you won't see her utilize her jiu-jitsu, her wrestling, and stuff like that. She had to use her jiu-jitsu against Germaine de Randamie, because I certainly do feel that de Randamie is the better striker over Amanda. Although Amanda does hit harder, but Amanda at that time, she really did need to utilize her jiu-jitsu. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to favor Amanda as of right now, just because Amanda does have power, and like Mike Tyson has said, everybody has a plan until they get punched, and we saw firsthand by Megan Anderson. She got punched by Amanda, and it was already over after that first punch, and she didn't have a plan after that. Juliana, let's see how she's able to handle the first punch by Amanda Nunes. If she's able to, withstand that power and just eat the shots, then I'm going to give her a better chance. But I want to see Juliana be able to take a couple punches, and then, she might have to take about 2 or 3 punches before she's able to, shoot for a takedown and utilize her wrestling. Once she utilizes her wrestling, then it's going to be very interesting to see how Amanda utilizes her jiu-jitsu. If she's able to be, in full guard, will she be able to, go in through a triangle chokehold, convert, or try to go for an armbar, an inverted armbar? It'll be very interesting to see. I'm very excited for this fight. I certainly just want activity from the bantamweight division, the women's bantamweight division. If there's any reason why I want Amanda to win, it's just because of the slight possibility of a potential trilogy fight between her and Valentina Shevchenko. I certainly do believe that Valentina may be the only person, right, possibly outside of Cyborg, that can give Amanda a true, challenge. I think Cyborg ended up getting clipped in their one and only fight. I think if you replayed that fight again, All right, if you make them fight 10 times, I certainly do believe that it'll be dead even just due to the power. But let's see what happens. I mean, we got tons of good fights coming, your way. This weekend, we got Kelvin Gastelum versus Robert Whittaker. So I'm certainly excited for that. And yeah, guys, next week it's going to be UFC 261 in Jacksonville, headlined by Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. All right, this is the rematch. The title's on the line. A lot at stake. You also have Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. All right, that's going to be for the title for the strawweight, women's strawweight. And you're also going to have the women's flyweight title on the line. Valentina Shevchenko might be having her toughest test as of yet at flyweight versus Jessica Andrade. All right, guys, until then, I'm Flav Oriana. Thank you for tuning in for Flav Oriana's MMA show. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Guys, it does help me out a lot. And I will certainly see you guys next time. Peace, guys, and have a good one.